Hello, both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome, everybody, to Both Sides of the Conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Tuesday, so you know what that means. We are going to have another Hidden Gem segment where we will continue to highlight our Black and Brown businesses as well as community leaders that do positive things to impact our community every day. And we have some phenomenal gems today, so looking forward to today's segment. Before we get started, a couple of things. First, I want to say apologies to the community. As everyone knows, this Sunday my mom passed. I was not able to relate the information to the community. I know people were reaching out, texting, saying, hey, where's today's show? It was an important conversation for our disability community. We will be rescheduling that conversation. So I want to thank all of the panelists for last minute being appreciative and understanding. And to our co-host, Brittany, as a lot of information went out last minute. I take full responsibility as my mind was just off thinking about my mom. So I just want to say I apologize to the community. Also to our panelists for getting the last minute notice that the show would be canceled. But with that being said, I want to thank all of the families, communities, our elected officials who reached out to me and showed love to me and my family as we go through this grieving process. And, you know, it is a tough road. It's going to be a long road, but I am here. I am resilient. And thanks to all the community leaders, Uncle Stank and Collective Impact, man, for just lighting the fire in me and letting me know, man, you can't just lay down. You got to get up, and I ain't going to stay down. I'm going to keep fighting for the community. So tonight's segment is going to be definitely a very emotional, intense show tonight for me as I'm trying to push through this. We have so much work we have to do in our community. You know, it's a lot of things that we got to address. And I can't sleep knowing that we still got a lot of work to do. So just wanted to get that out there. Thank you, community. I really love all of the text, love, support. We have been just overwhelmed with the community showing us love here at Both Sides of the Conversation. I want to also thank my Both Sides of the Conversation team for stepping up, making sure business continues to happen. The work that we're doing to impact the community behind the scenes has continued to roll through. So I want to give my team a huge shout out for stepping up, doing what they need to make sure that this platform continues to move forward and that we are continuing to impact our community in ways that sometimes we don't see, but they are doing the work. So I want to thank them and give them a huge shout out as well. With that being said, we was in LA this weekend. I know a lot of you all saw my post. We was out in Skid Row, blessing the people. So many people was impacted this weekend. So I want to give a lot of huge shout outs to the organizations and the community that came together to help bless those on Skid Row. Let me tell you, America, and to our community, our people are suffering. 2,500 meals served. The line was continued around the corner. The amount of young kids that we seen with families living on the streets. It is just a shame. My heart was so broken, even in San Francisco, here in the Bay Area. I mean, this homeless thing across this country just has been a tragedy to see all what we are seeing. But I was just blessed and honored to be out there and was able to feed those and, tragically coming back to get that information about my mom. But I had a great weekend. We was able to bless the people of LA. The Bay Area showed up and showed love to our people down there. So first, I want to give a huge shout out to our sister Charlene for Beauty and Business in the Streets. They put that event together. Shout out to the Freedom Fighters Motorcycle Club down in LA, organizing, making sure that the people had everything and kept the structure in place. Want to give a huge shout out to the City Eats, my brother Kaim, the founder, Kat, Uncle Damien, Us for Us, man, and our young people that showed up to come bless the people of LA. Phenomenal event. And you all who know, I've been trying to get down there for 3 years to do this event. And things have just been coming up every year, being busy. And this was the first year that I was able to actually make it and support my brother Kaim as he comes up here in the Bay Area and bless our community every month doing the work. So I want to give them a huge shout out and thank them for all of the love, the support, the hospitality that they showed us down there in LA. Just gave us all the love. Shout out to my guy, Wings and Waffles. He's going to be coming in, blessing the people with the good soul food, chicken and waffles. There was a number of organizations who stepped up and did some phenomenal work. We'll be getting them on shortly. Want to give a huge shout out to the Skid Row resource team, the Refresh Spa, man. They are doing some phenomenal work. We're going to be getting them on too. These people have so much humility and compassion, understanding for our people. And let me tell you, our people are struggling, but they have laundry services, showers and restrooms and drug dispensaries and things to help our people out that are struggling, mental health services, phenomenal program. And we are looking forward to having some of them come on as they're going to bless our community and help us with some ideals. As we know, this mental health and drug situation in our communities are impacting us heavily day to day. So just want to say thank you to all of those folks. I know it's a lot tonight, but I have to make sure that I acknowledge those people. They did a phenomenal job, and we was able to bless the people. Here locally, we had a number of events that took place over in San Francisco. I want to give a huge shout out to Maurice Rivers and to the OMI team for the skate block party, bringing community together. Our lovely mayor was out there. A lot of the elected officials, community showed up. Phenomenal event. I missed that event because I was in LA, but I want to give Maurice and the OMI team as they are working together to bring the OMI together and help and bless our community. But what a phenomenal event to get the young people, the elders of the community to come out, skate, enjoy our communities. As we know, sometimes the things that take place in our community, we don't get to enjoy them. So shout out to the OMI, shout out to the work that Maurice is doing and to our OMI leadership over there. I want to give a huge shout out to Jafria Morris, to EJ, and all the work that they've been doing. And thanks for all the love and support from them as well, as we're going to continue to bring Black San Francisco together. It's a lot of work, but there are people out there doing the work, coming together. So I want to thank them. And then I want to give a huge shout out to my brother, Renard Monroe, a phenomenal brother. I was on the Invest Black call, making connections. We have some phenomenal people here in San Francisco that are trying to bring the financial literacy, the financial impact to our community, trying to get our voices heard, making sure financially we are investing in each other. So I'm just excited to see what this is going to look like in the future, working with him and his leadership. And y'all know we just go continue to pray for him as he's going through his medical stuff, but he is still resilient fighting. So how could I lay down when that brother is going through what he's going through and still blessing the people? So shout out to Renard and Invest Black. There's some phenomenal people that are doing work over there, and I'm looking forward to connecting with them soon. Sorry for the long comments. I told y'all this first part was going to be a little windy because we didn't have a show out there. I want to give a huge shout to Miss Erica Scott, the San Francisco African American Culture District. What a phenomenal block party they put together this Sunday as well. That sister is working hard to make sure that our people are educated, know about our Black history, and making sure that we are in space together. So I want to give her a huge shout out as well for her efforts and making sure that our community gets love and support and that we are unifying and sticking together in the community. So I want to thank her. And there was a number of other events going on in the community. And just want to thank those organizations too. It's too many to name. There was a lot of movement going on in San Francisco this past weekend. Thank you to our Both Sides of the Conversation marketing team. They were out in events representing for us. And even though I wasn't there, the presence of Both Sides of the Conversation was there. So thank you and thank our team for that. With that being said, a couple announcements. We are about 45 minutes away from the election polls closing. For all you know, here in California, we have a recall election. If you haven't voted, you have 45 minutes to get out there and cast your vote. Please make sure that you get your voice heard. Get out there and cast your vote. And if the any results or any information come on tonight, we'll get it out to community. As we know, these elections take so much long. If you don't know where to go, please go over to Collective Impact. At the Ella Hill Hutch Center, they have polls set up. They'll be there to 8 p.m. Thanks to Uncle Stank and to the family over there for making sure our community has a way to get out and vote. So with that being said, a couple announcements. The Biotech Corporation is set to give young children across this globe, 5 years old up to age 11, a COVID-19 vaccination. That is just one thing that's going out. There's a number of organizations who are trying to come with tests and studies for COVID for our young folks. So BioNTech is one of the corporations. They're looking for approval to get those vaccinations out to our young people. The staff have granted religious exemption from the vaccine mandate. The American Airlines will grant their staff religious exemptions from the COVID-19, but they will put them on unpaid leave. As we know, these mandates are going on federally, locally, here in the state as well. Moderna is developing a combo booster that is supposed to be helping with the vaccine shot, flu shot this winter. So they're trying to push that out. As we all know, this Delta virus is spreading through our communities. If you all have not heard, we have about 5,000 students across 500,000 students across the United States who have tested positive since school has been back in session. This stuff is spreading. Our families are being impacted daily. So just wanted to put that out there to community. The Fillmore Square Job Training Faith-Based Culinary Training Workforce is kicking off this fall. Please contact Tyrone Mullins. If you are interested in being a chef and you want to learn how to be a cook, please reach out to Brother Tyrone. We'll get that information up as they are trying to get young culinary art cookers and get them some skills and trades so they can make money to impact our community. With that being said, Be Magic is presenting their family day for residents of Baby Hunters Point at 2401 Keith Street every day from 9 a.m. and they're extending the hours from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Thursday. If you need contact information, we'll be putting it up in the chat real soon here. The Bayview Point, Hunters Point Park, in collaboration with the RX, are hosting a zero waste gardening workshop located at Heron Park in San Francisco's Bayview Hunters Point, 32 Jennings Street. Please contact Alex from the Literacy and Environmental. We'll get their information up, as well as the ecosystem. They are doing phenomenal things with our young people to impact our community. Also, on September 25th, we will be having another 3rd Street Humbre block party located at Lane in Yosemite. Please reach out to Erica Scott if you would like to be a vendor or be a part of that event. She'll be the person that you'll be contacting. We'll get her information up there to you. Don't forget, October 17th, the Phoenix Day block party will be happening. We'll be out there. I just found out there's no media coverage going to be happening. So we're going to try to get out there, both sides of the conversation, and support that event. But that's an event that's very important for community. So please check out that at the Sunday Streets SF block party. We'll get that information up on the screen as we run it through tonight's show. With that being said, for both sides of the conversation announcement, you all know every Tuesday we have this Hidden Gem segment. This Thursday, we're going to have a powerful educational Thursday. We're going to have a panel of city workers from the city and county of San Francisco who are going to talk about the independent review that took place for the San Francisco EEO workplace, the policies. As you all know, a lot of our workers, our Black and brown workers, have been impacted in different ways with employment, through retaliation, harassment, discrimination. A lot of things is going on. And they're going to come and educate the community about some of the things that took place with the independent review. We're going to have some more conversations coming up here at both sides of the conversation about workplace, issues. As we are knowing through this pandemic, there are so many discriminatory practices that are happening. A number of these employers, HR departments, are misleading employees, writing employees up for having to take time off. Different things are happening, and we're going to get into that with a couple more of our HR personnel to talk about some of those things that are impacting our community. This Sunday, community, this is going to be a huge conversation. This Sunday, we're going to have our community violence part 2. This is going to be part 2 of the part 1 that we had on community violence. We're going to have a lot of resources and information. We're going to have the Human Rights Commission Executive Director, Dr. Cheryl Davis, come on, as well as a number of Human Rights Commission colleagues. We're going to have some consultants for the Street Violence Prevention Team. We're going to have our sister, Felicia Jones, from Wealth and Disparities. We're going to have a conversation about this violence that is taking place on our community. As we know, the gun violence here in the Bay Area, not only here in the Bay Area, across these United States of America, has increased in our Black and brown communities during this pandemic. So please join us this Sunday. It is going to be a powerful conversation, and they're going to talk about some of the things that they are doing to try to help impact this gun violence. And hopefully in the future, we'll be getting some of our Dreamkeeper initiatives, folks who are doing violence prevention, to come on and talk about some of the strategies and some of the things that they're trying to implement and put in place to help solve some of these issues that we are facing in our community with gun violence. On 9/26, we're going to have another important conversation as one of our young sisters from the community who lost her life living in one of our housing managements in San Francisco. This issue with related management and a number of these other management companies has impacted our community. And we're going to have a tough discussion with From the Heart, our sister Maika, and some of the human rights folks. And we got some attorneys and some different folks that's going to be a part of this conversation so we can educate our community on how to deal with these issues that they're coming up with, these living standards. And then on 10/3, we're going to have our drug abuse conversation. I'm just excited to see what this conversation turn out. We're going to be having the San Francisco Adult Probation and some of the reentry folks coming on talking about this drug abuse. As you all know, not only here in San Francisco, but across this globe, this fentanyl has been taking the life of a lot of our folks. This fentanyl spread of fentanyl is just taking our people out, and we're going to have a conversation about it. And then on 10/10, we're going to kick off the month of October with our Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As we know, so many of our sisters have been impacted by breast cancer, some of the loss that we have taken, and we're going to help educate our community. We are reaching out to some phenomenal sisters who are doctors and different people that have that background to talk about cancer awareness, as well as we will be having a part 2 of our domestic violence conversation. As you all know, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we'll be having those conversations as well. So with that being said, I'm going to close my mouth now and land my plane, as I've talked enough. And I'm sorry for all of the long-winded conversations tonight, but because we canceled our show on Sunday, a lot of announcements to get out to the community. Also, this Friday, we will be out. Both sides of the conversation, we will be at the Reentry Resource event at the Cathedral on 1001, I believe it is, Golf. I'll get the information, but we'll be live out there streaming that event with my brother Steve Adami and some of the folks down there. Looking forward to seeing the community out there as we continue to get resources for our people who have been impacted by incarceration. So looking forward to that as well. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring up my brother Nate, and we're going to go ahead and introduce tonight's guest and get ready. Brother Nate, anything you want to say? I know I done took up all the time.
You said it all, John. Let's roll, baby. It's good to see you smiling, though. So
man,
let's do it, man.
I got to, man. Thank you very much.
I'm with you, baby. Let's go.
All right. Miss Demitria, we're going to bring her up tonight. As we continue here at both sides of the conversation to impact our Black and brown community, not only here in San Francisco, but across this globe. And I know a lot of people, they get frustrated and say, is this just a San Francisco thing? We have some phenomenal hidden gems. We have somebody from Houston. We have somebody from Mississippi. We have somebody from the Central Valley. We are blessing the community. We are all about supporting our Black and brown businesses. But yes, our hub is here at San Francisco, but we love our people, and we're going to support them, uplift them, no matter where they are in this country, and that's what we will continue to do. So with that being said, no further ado, I'm going to close my mouth, like I said, and bring up Sister Demitria, and come and introduce yourself to the community and let them know what you're doing and how you're impacting the community.
Thank you Thank you. I appreciate y'all for having me on this platform. I really do appreciate it. My name is Demitria. I'm a nonprofit called Unite the Community Project. Basically, I help the homeless. I've been homeless, so I know how that is. I know how they feel. I've been in the women's shelter before as well. So I've always had this dream, this goal to be able to help people all over the country. So what I'm currently doing is trying to get 1,000, I call them I'm good bags, and that stands for getting over obstacles daily, because we're all getting over obstacles daily. So I felt like that was like the right name to for these bags. Recently, I just made 100 sack lunches for the Arlington Life Shelter with 30 minutes for this. So I was able to bless 100 people. As far as the I'm good bags, what I do, I take different shelters in the DFW area, or if there's homeless, like the homeless that are forgotten about in the street, anytime I'm in my car, anytime I go out, I take a couple bags with me, because you never know who you may see on the streets. You know, so in these bags, there's like hygiene products like deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, chapstick, mask, washcloth, socks, things like that. Then there's also like peanuts, a notepad, bottle of water, beef jerky, tuna, those tuna salad kits, things like that. So I've been doing that for the past, I say about the past 3 months. So it's just really now kicking off. So I've been helping everyone in the community so far here. Of course, I plan to expand that across the country, because there's homeless people everywhere. Every state, every city that you go to, there's homeless somewhere or even forgotten about. So the plan is to distribute these bags all across the globe one day. So it's just a start at this time. So my goal is to get 1,000 bags by the end of this year. No, it's only 1,000, but it's a start. I know it's not enough. I'm probably gonna go past that, but for right now, it's a good start. So I mean, we all need some help. You never know who may be out there that need extra help, what that bag may do, how it can change somebody's life. And I also include a motivational note inside of it, as well as local resources to other shelters, or like a hotline, abuse hotline, and things of that nature. So yeah, I've been at, also, besides that, I'm working on a podcast that will be the Authentic Purpose podcast. So stay tuned for that. As well as, I just like to motivate people, because I've been through a lot myself. Maybe not can tell by looking at me, but I have a lot of stories that will motivate someone else. So I'm just starting with the nonprofit first. It's a goal, it's a dream. It's like something on my heart that I've always felt that I needed to do. Hard, and I feel like we all have a purpose. My motto is "Let's go work, life." We all have it. If you don't use it, you will definitely lose it. So that's basically me in a nutshell. That's what I do. I'm gonna continue to be on the screen. My IG is Unite the Community Project. I'm still accepting donations at this time. So if you know any sources that can help me to help other people, I greatly appreciate it in every way. So I do appreciate y'all again for having me on this show. I really do appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for being here tonight. What a phenomenal gesture that you are doing for our community. I am a big advocate to supporting our homeless. I am very, very involved in that. Out here, we have our City East team, so definitely we're going to connect with you and see if we could go ahead and sponsor and get you those 1,000 packs. I'll definitely do my part. All I do is want to see our people come together. I like the Unite the Community Project. What a great way to put that name on there, because as we are trying to do so dearly in our community is unite our community, our organizations. We are so dysfunctional, and I'm just happy that you have that name and you're doing that work. That is a blessing to the people. And I just want to say, before I even say anything further, prayers out to our Houston community. She's calling in from Houston. As you all know, Hurricane Richard has now landed in Houston. They are being impacted again with tropical storms and heavy rain. And it's just sad to see. I have family down there. I've been checking in, and it's just terrible what's going on. Our communities are being hit. So, sometimes these little things that we do makes a great difference. So just want to say prayers and condolences and just praying that our people down in Houston be safe as this rainfall and this tornado is touching down there. And we just blessed to have you here tonight. But you said something very important that's powerful that I think I just want to really highlight. Being able to be vulnerable. And I think that's one of the things that really stand out. Especially in this work that we do. So many times people are afraid to be vulnerable, to talk about their past. And I really believe that we really need to do that more in the Black community, because the more vulnerable that we are and the more we tell our stories and our testimonies, I think we really start to begin that healing work and we begin to start moving our communities forward. So many times things happen and we just stay silent and we don't talk about it. And that's some of the struggles that I'm dealing with right now. I'm not gonna say I'm frustrated because Dr. Honeycutt told me I can't say I'm frustrated. Get the few people and do the work, but I'm sometimes disappointed in our communities, our community leaders, as a lot of times we enable the bad behavior that helps divide our communities. And these supposed to be leaders of our communities are doing a disservice to our community. So, with saying that, the power in which you're doing is just phenomenal, because it takes a lot of humility and compassion to get out there. And like I said, I was just down on Skid Row this weekend, and to see the level of need that our people have and how they're being impacted, just to have people to have that love and compassion, it just does something. I always tell people, they say, how do you feel? And I always say it feels good to help other people. So many times in our day-to-day lives, we forget about those in need. And you're right, just seeing the brothers out there cutting people hair this weekend, the sisters out there braiding the ladies' hair, doing their makeup, doing their nails, and just to hear the appreciation and just, that, getting that just uplift their spirits, and sometimes, like you said, it could just be a meal or a care package or that dollar, whatever it is that changed somebody's day to get them motivated and going again. It's very powerful stuff. So, I'm just excited. That's just great stuff. When I hear people giving back to the people, it just really moves me, because I think that's what we all need to do. I think sometimes we forget that we all could be in that place. And a lot of it is substance abuse. A lot of it is mental health. And a lot of it is just our people are suffering. And, it's just terrible that we live in a country that can invest 20 years into a unwinnable war and different things and not take care of our people. Our people are doing bad. And that's why tonight I am frustrated. I have to say it, with what's going on in our communities and how these organizations and these leaders are failing our community. People are being impacted by COVID and different things in our community. And for community organizations and for people to hold resources for rainy day funds and different things of that nature and holding back our community from moving forward, it is a disappointment. And, it's just sad that our people are doing what they're doing to our people. And we got to do better. The rainy day is now. Our people are struggling. Our people are in trouble. And we thank God for people like you who are doing that work, making sure those in need have what they need. So just want to thank you. Big Nate, you want to say anything to the sister, man?
No, man, she this is great what she's doing. I just want to commend her, because we always say, never look down on anyone unless you're helping them back up. And this is definitely what she's doing. She's helping. She's trying to lift our people. So power to you. And, I encourage everyone, if you can give a helping hand, to please reach out to her. I know people have been putting things in the chat and want to donate. So you're getting pretty good, traction here. So good luck to you, sister. And, anything that we can do, please don't hesitate to give us a call.
Definitely.
Will do. Thank you, guys.
I see one of the comments or questions coming in from the community asking, how long have you been giving out the bags? How long have you been doing that service?
I started back June, to be exact. Right now I have 50. With the help of friends, loved ones, my church back home. I so far that I have made. I'm doing an event next month, October the 16th, here in Arlington at Create Arlington to be able to get more donations to get to that 1,000. So I've only been doing it for a few months. It's gonna last a lifetime.
Man, phenomenal stuff. So, just so you know, our deputy director is from Houston, and I'll definitely be connecting her with you, and we'll make sure that we give you a nice boost donation to see if we can get you to that 1,000. I'll reach out to my people at the City Eats and see if we could do it, and reach out to some of our community organizations here and see if we can lend a hand to get you that 1,000. I want to make sure you reach that goal. So please stay connected with me. I'll have our team reach out to you, and I'll connect you with our deputy director who is in Houston, and make sure that you are connected, and we're going to make sure you get that 1,000. Community are both sides of the conversation. Love, family. Here's our opportunity. Let's step up. Let's support this queen who's trying to help out the community. We'll do our part here at both sides of the conversation. Her community information is up on the screen. Please, if you want to reach out to her, go to her IG, Unite the Community Project on Instagram. DM her, let her know if you would like to help, support, make a donation. But let's get behind this queen and make sure that she gets the 1,000 donations, and we're going to push you further, and so that we can keep this going. I think that is very, very impactful. So if there's anything else that you want to let out to community, that you want to say, please take the time now to just go ahead. If there's any other organizations or things that you're a part of, you could go ahead and shout them out before we go ahead and let you go and move on to the next hidden gem for tonight.
That's it for now. Just stay tuned. This won't be the last time that you guys see me. That's for sure. Make sure of that. Again, but I can't thank y'all enough for allowing me to be on here. It's my first interview, so just in the word and doing God's work at this point. So appreciate you.
Amen. And we're looking forward for your launch of your podcast. Please let us know when you started. I know you're a motivational speaker as well. I'm looking forward to hearing what you're talking about and how you inspire and motivate the community. I love motivational videos. I've been listening to them since I've been dealing with the death of my mom, just to keep me going and just the love from the community. So when you get your podcast going, please reach out to us, let us know, and we'll definitely get behind, support you, like, subscribe, and check out the work that you're doing for the community.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Be safe out there. I know the storm is out there. Be safe.
Peace.
Continue to do the work, and we'll be making sure that we reach out and support you with your 1,000 bag challenge. Okay.
Definitely. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Thank you. All right, community. There you go. Our first hidden gem down way out in Texas, coming on to bless the community. Let's get behind our both sides of the conversation family. Let's support her, send some donations. Let's help her reach her goal, because we know the work that folks like this do to impact our community is just so needed, man. And I could testify to it. This weekend, seeing those people down there, Nate, seeing the kids on Skid Row, it is terrible, 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 terrible. This country should not be proud of themselves, seeing city by city our young people here in San Francisco sleeping in RVs, sleeping on the street. It is terrible, terrible, terrible.
And it's getting younger too, man. That's the scary part. They're getting younger.
Yeah, no, man. Definitely, man. Powerful stuff. I still haven't got to what I want to talk about, but we'll get to it at the end of the show. We're going to keep moving through because we got some real conversation community that we got to have. With that being said, we're going to bring up my brother. He's coming in here, man, all the way from Mississippi. For y'all that keep saying both sides of the conversation, we just local. We got somebody from the double S. I can't even say it no more. I remember it. Double SS, IPP. I can't even say it. But this brother is started doing his business, clothing, pie. We're going to bring up Brother Krim and bring him up to the community so he could talk about his business and the things that he's doing. Brother Krim, go ahead.
Hey, how everybody doing today? My business is Pie Clothing. That's my clothing line. This is my logo. Pie was created 3 years ago. Kind of going through a rough time. Didn't really know what my purpose was. Didn't really know where my life was going to go. Moving from place to place. trying to hide everything from everybody. And I created Pie because I have 3 kids. And to me, at one time, I had contemplated on suicidal thoughts, which glad I didn't. But Pie, purpose is everything is what's the meaning of it. Basically, this can go to anybody. Whatever your purpose is in life, whatever you choose to do, be the best at it. Miracle Jamarcus tonight, that was my purpose. Also, I do women clothes, men clothes, kid clothes will be starting 2 more months from now. So, y'all got excuse me, I'm kind of nervous. First interview. I never make 2 of the same thing. You might get the same color. You might get the same color logos, but they'll never be in the same position. The reason I do that is because with pies, you can't put 2 pies in the oven. No matter how you cook them, they're never coming out looking the same. So I want everybody to have, everybody has their own purpose in life. So that is the point of me doing everything different. Also, organization that I started was inspired by an organization from home called The Wheeling. I'm originally from Mississippi. I reside in ATL, but home is home. I go home pretty regular. But the program is called The Wheeling. So I started B to the 3rd power, which means brothers building brothers. So The Wheeling was it still is an organization that goes around that helps people. I've seen them do community cleanup projects to doing vinyl siding on people's houses, fixing porches, mowing lawns, all that for the elderly community and people that needs help. They refer to those guys as, well, my guys, they're my best friend, headed by Starsky, Deshaun, Jermaine, Stanford. Those were, head guys. They all looked at us as gang members or whatever, but we're not that type of people. We are actually neighborhood people. We're organized. So that's the reason for B to the 3rd. B to the 3rd is designed to help brothers that's building brothers. Basically, what we do is homeboy Rod Spears has like Rod Custom Tent and Detail. So if he needs help, we'll get some volunteer. I can go help him. I don't charge him a penny. I don't do none of that. We're actually helping everyone build their business. Black brothers building black brothers. We're staying on top of that. That's our motive. That's the way we're going to go.
Man, powerful, powerful stuff. Let me just say something to you, brother, man. One, this is deep. I just want to say, very courageous brother, King. You don't have to, be nervous, man. We here together as brothers, as kings. I commend you and your people right now for doing what y'all doing. As black men in our community, there's a call to action right now for us to step up, unite, and work together. We are killing each other. We are doing hateful things to each other. It is time for us to grow up and show up, as they say. And it's nice to see kings coming together. Very powerful stuff, my brother. See, this is why I do what I do. And I want everybody out there that's listening to understand. Mental health is real in our community. The only way we change mental health in our community is kings like you stepping up and having the courage to be vulnerable, to speak the truth. Too many times in our community, we become silent when we're going through depression, anxiety, when we're going through bad breakups. We don't talk about it. We hold it in. As black men, we are told so many times to suck it up, don't show emotions. In order for us to shift this paradigm in our community, to get our people and other brothers to seek mental help when we're going through things, we have to have brothers to step forward, man. And I've been calling this action to brothers in the community for a long time. We have to stand up. We have to be vulnerable. We have to talk about this pain, because if not, we're going to continue to destroy our community and destroy each other. Because we know during this mental health work, if we don't get it off our chest, all it's going to do is turn into other destructive things that's going to negatively impact our community, ourselves, and others who we love, man. And just powerful to hear you talking about that. But it's just so powerful to take a situation and transform it into something powerful. And it takes brothers like you out here to show our young brothers in the community that no matter what you're going through, what your struggle is, there's still an opportunity and there's still a blessing there for you if you're willing to do the work. Because so many times in our community, when things happen, we give up or we don't feel like we have that opportunity. So it's very important, even though this is your first night, first interview, very powerful stuff, because there's somebody out there watching right now that can relate, been through that, or are going through this. Depression or going through whatever, and to have you talk about what you're doing to come out of this and how you brothers are coming together, very powerful stuff. I am a big advocate here at both sides of the conversation for mental health. I know in our community, when we talk about mental health, mental wellness, whatever you want to call it, there's a taboo and a stigma behind that. And the only way we change that is as community leaders, community organizers, community businesses. We have to step forward, and our influencers, our rappers, our entertainers, our sports professionals. And I'm so proud of these young athletes who are coming up, our tennis players, talking about mental health, how real it is, dealing with these pressures that sometimes we don't talk about. Very, very important stuff, man. So kudos to you, brother, and to the Kings that's coming together to do that. This is a lead, man, that we need to just continue to follow throughout this country and all of our Black communities. We need our Kings to start stepping up and be accounted for and let our voices be heard. We too busy, we too busy competing, man. And I want us to start collaborating. And I'm glad you're here. We're going to support you in your clothing line, and make sure that we get the information out to community to support you. I am all about this movement here in the Bay Area. They see me posting all the time. I'm always about this movement. Kings supporting kings, kings supporting queens. That is what I'm about. All my Black Kings out there that are doing things, I always support them and uplift them. And I think the only way we get there is we got to lead by example. And I know in our community, we are the show me community. If they don't see us doing it, they don't believe in it. And that's why I'm behind this King supporting Kings movement. Phenomenal stuff, brother. Nate, I just want you to get in there and say something, man. I know you got something to say.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna lighten it just a little bit, but John, I definitely, you hit the nail on it, man. It's too many of us in competition, and it really hurts because it's from our own people, and it's a shame. Instead of uplifting each other, we want to tear each other down, especially in front of them other folks. And you know what I mean? And that, that ain't cool. And it's it's unfortunate, but all we can do is keep battling and keep fighting the fight and keep doing what we doing and not stooping down to other people's level. So that's my motto as we go forward. I just got one thing for Mr. Pie, though, man. He from Mississippi. I think he know where I'm going with this. You from Mississippi, live in Atlanta, but got a Baltimore Ravens. Got the audacity to have that thing in the background. No, brother, you keep doing what you're doing, man. I really, I support Black businesses. I commend you for coming on, telling your story, because like John Henry say, a lot of us don't tell our stories. A lot of us go through things and we just let it build up, and we either gonna die or we gonna kill somebody letting it all out. So I appreciate you, brother. But I gotta know the story behind that Ravens banner in the back. I gotta know. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm from Mississippi, so we don't have a pro football team. So I've been a Raven fan since '96 when they first changed it to the Raiders. That was, and I stuck with that. All my friends will tell you, I'm in my cricket letter, but I'm a diehard Raven fan. You know what I'm saying? It's in me. Ray Lewis. Matter of fact, Ed Reed Reed purchased the outfit from me.
That's cool.
A couple months ago. So that was a big, major accomplishment for me, for one of my idols to actually, purchase that outfit from me. But yeah, so.
Okay, well, it's San Francisco all day up here, man.
Oh, man.
We Niners all day long, man.
I used to stay in San Francisco. I stayed in the Fillmore building when I went to
okay, that's my hood. All right.
So let me say something real quick. And, I'm glad you said that, Nate, because I was going to say something about it too, but I wanted to just let him get through that part. So y'all know my mom just passed this past Sunday. She was a big Baltimore fan. She loved the Ravens. Anything that she could go against the 49ers, she would do it just to rub and piss me off. But that was one of her teams. She loved the Baltimore Ravens. And I was at the Super Bowl when the Ravens and the Niners played. And thanks to Beyonce cutting the power off. And
y'all tried to cheat us by cutting the lights off.
Yeah, I was out there at the Super Bowl, but no, I definitely love the fan base. I had a lot of fun with a lot of those Raven fans down there for that. But, just happy to see, football season back and people get to have fun and be petty and just do something else to get outside the conversation of this COVID and stuff that's going on in our community. But I did have one question because I'm always trying to put this correlation together. I'm trying to figure out, when you started going through, because you said you was going through something through a relationship. Am I right? Did I get it right or did I miss something?
Yeah, you're right. I kind of didn't go into it, but that was, basically the point behind it all.
Okay. So, I think for me, it was just, because I think so many times, we just had a relationship conversation a couple of weeks ago. And I think in our Black community, we don't talk about the correlation between mental health and relationships. As we know in the Black and Brown community, there are so many failures and things happen. But we don't talk about some of those things that take place. But for me, my question to you is, when did you feel like, you was going through something or you needed the support or help? Like, what was it? Because I'm always trying to figure out, like, what was it that clicked on? Like, man, I'm going down this dark spiral, or I need some support. Like, what was it? Was it just, the fellas, or you know what I mean? What was it to get you there?
Actually, it was two people. My daughter, which is Miracle Hardaway in the comments. That's my baby girl.
Oh yeah, she repping hard for you.
And I always have my family, but it's two people that really said something to me that bumped me. It was my daughter. She, during the time I was going through the dark spot, her mother sent me this thing from school that she made, and she put on there like her dad's her idol, and for me, coming from my baby girl, that was a blessing. And my best friend, Chauncey Armstrong from Mississippi, sat me down and talked to me. He told me, he said, bro, he said, you've been a man your whole life. He said, don't let your heart get you killed or let you do something stupid to yourself. That's the best. That's the best advice he could have sat down and gave me. He gave it to me 100% real. Whereas I had to take it like a man, and I had to really realize no matter how much you love something, sometimes you got to let it go just to better yourself. I felt like my manhood had been stripped from me, trying to be perfect, trying to be something. I just needed to be me. My family loved me for who I am, for who they've been knowing me for these 36 years. I didn't have to change for nobody. Being humble is the best thing I could have did for me. And only way that I can be here to become a better father, a better man, a better community leader was to love me first, be there for me, because I can't do nothing for nobody if there's no me.
Man, powerful stuff, man. To your daughter, blessings to her. Thank you, Queen, for being there for your dad. Let me tell you, Black dads matter. When we there for our kids, man, especially our daughters, man, they love you, love you, love you. I have so graciously been here, supported through this whole time, grieving with my mom. My daughter has been here on my side, uplifting me, not only my community, but my daughter. She is truly a daddy's girl, and she just been saying, Dad, I am here, whatever I can do. So yes, we love our daughters, man. If it wasn't for our daughters and our queens of the community, boy, would we be in so much trouble. And shout out to that king, to that brother who gave you that good information. I am so glad to hear that, community. I just want y'all to hear that, because a lot of times when we are going through stuff as Black men, whether it's through relationships or whatever, a lot of times we get the wrong advice from our friends when we go through relationships. So I just want to congratulate that brother. I don't know where he at. Share this link with him tonight. Let him see it. But I want to congratulate him, because I believe that as Black men, we have to do a better job when our brothers are going through stuff, especially in relationships, guide them and steer them in the right direction, and not encouraging or enabling the behavior to do the BS. Take accountability. And like you said, be a man. So thanks to that brother for giving you that good advice. And, we love your daughter for doing the things that she do. Nate, you want to say something?
I just want to know, how can we purchase the pie clothing? Is it just through the email only, or is there a website coming up?
No. Actually, I'll be in the process of updating my website. My website should be done. I think the lady said my website will be done next Friday. Okay. I'm updating everything, but I do have Instagram. I have Facebook. My Instagram is pie clothing _, and pie stands for purpose is everything. I don't know if I mentioned everything.
Put that
in the chat.
Put it in the chat. I'm gonna get my team to put it up on the screen so we can follow you on Instagram. We're definitely gonna buy something and support you, brother, because that's what we about. We don't talk about it. We be about it over here. So let me get that up there for the people, in the community. But thanks, Nate, for saying that. And as soon as you get your website out, please send it over to us so that we could go ahead and blast it out to community. One thing about our both sides of the conversation people, man, they travel, they go everywhere. We buy, we shop online. So we will make sure that we support you and get some of your clothing. Very, very important stuff, man. And I like that name, Pie, man. Whew, that is definitely some real deal stuff. But with that being said, good brother, if there's anything else that you want to promote or say, I definitely would like to get you back on here for one of our Sunday conversations that we're going to have, some Black man accountability conversations. I think that is a conversation that we really need to have, because I am in this mode. And as Black men, we got to do a better job stepping up for our community. We are not all, but we are not leading in the masses like we need to, and we need to have a grown man conversation. Our young bucks with the OGs, we need to have that conversation. So I'm definitely going to invite you in the future as we set up those dates for those conversations. I have a few OGs in the community who want to have some conversations with our young Gs, and we need to really talk about what this manhood look, what this fatherhood look like, what this king supporting kings look like, and this movement of taking back our communities, because I am a true believer is going to take the help of our Black man with the support of our queens to move these communities back into a place of love, compassion, humility, and it's going to take us all. But our brothers, we got to step up. We got to step up. So if there's anything else you want to shout out, King, please do it now. We're going to continue to support you here, way over here from the ATL to the Bay. We're going to make sure that we support you. We've had some brothers on from the Midwest we support, and they just love us, man. But we're going to keep supporting our people.
Shout out. First, I want to shout out, like I said, the Wheeling. Y'all can Google the Wheeling, Yellowbush County, Towns Trucking, Coffeeville, Mississippi. I want to shout out Nigel's Workout Plan, Omaha, Nebraska. Marco the Barber, Atlanta, Georgia, and Hot Rod Tent and Detail. That's in Memphis, Tennessee, North Mississippi, and Dope Suds. So all Black-owned businesses that I know of them, and they're excellent people.
Man, phenomenal. As many of those information you can get in our chat so we can get up on the screen, please do. Thank you, King, for coming on. Thanks for staying up way in Atlanta to come support us and represent your hometown of Mississippi.
Raw bundles. My oldest daughter got raw bundles. She got bundles now. So ladies, y'all come on, get them bundles now.
Okay, get them bundles.
And you can't forget about her. Well, you've been in trouble. You forgot that one.
Hey, but I want to say this to you, Krim. If you can hang on, typically at the end of every show, we typically have a question for our panelists, and I just want to see if you can hang on. You can. If you have to go, I understand respectfully.
Hang on.
Thank you, King. We're going to support you. We're going to make sure that we get this information out to the community. Community, here's another opportunity. Since we talk so much about supporting Black businesses, here's an opportunity to reach out to Pi. This brother's testimony is powerful. To hear his story and the accountability and the things that he's doing, just to impact not only himself but the community. Get behind his brother and support him. Thank you very much, King, for coming on. But we're going to let you go. Hang on for a second as we bring up our last hidden gem. Our other guest wasn't able to make it, but we'll bring up our last hidden gem, and then we'll bring everybody back up to the stage.
All right.
All right. Powerful stuff. See what I'm talking about, man? King supporting kings. I'm all about it. We are about 5 minutes.
That guy inspired me, John. I'm inspired, man.
Yeah, I'm pumped up, man.
He touched the nerve with me, man. That his daughter supporting him, and she is touching, man. Touching.
Yeah, God, very deep. We are 5 minutes here in California before the polls close. And we'll be getting out that information as soon as it comes out on both sides of the conversation. If it comes out later, we'll just get it out to community as people will be waking up tomorrow, find out the results. If not, I am John Henry. I am the governor. I will be running for governor. So keep on supporting, as y'all will see the governor take over. I know y'all been seeing it all of the shows. Everybody's talking about John Henry for governor. I think I'm going to put my hat in it. I think I got a hat trick. If Larry Ellis could do it, I know I could do it.
I was just going to say, if that fool could do it, I know you got more than that.
All right. Y'all know I'm not going to get into politics. I'm too hood for them, but I am going to be the politician of the community to make sure we doing what we do to uplift and support our community. With that being said, our queen has been waiting so patiently here, and the only reason why we did let the brothers and the other sister go first because they are in a different time zone. She's been waiting patiently. This is a phenomenal sister. We are looking forward to connecting her information, the things that she's involved with, the amount of resources that she has, and the willingness to come back and bless the people. We are looking forward to having her come and do some phenomenal things for community. With that being said, Miss Lady L, Belle, Lisette, we're going to bring you up. Come on, let the people know who you are, what you're doing. Phenomenal sister.
Hey, good evening. Good evening to everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you so very much for having me. It is definitely an honor. I'm humbled. Thank you to the staff and to share the same stage with the panelists that spoke before me. I'm honored. I'm blown away. And I would just also like to give a shout out to everyone that is taking their precious time to tune in to the podcast tonight and to listen in. So thank you very much. I am Lady Lettisse, Lady L, or Coach Lettisse, as many people know me out in the community. A little bit about me. I am a native of Los Angeles, California, born and raised. I am here in the Sacramento area. I've been here for about 7 years now. And my background, a little bit about my background, Spelman graduate, USC graduate, and a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta. I am an avid community member. I've been in the field of social services for about 20 plus years. So not only do I have experience as an independent business coach and consultant, but I've also worked at many levels of government, which is why I'm so passionate about the work that I do. Actually, how I got started, I was actually going to go to law school. And after I came back from Spelman, I started working in the juvenile halls. And I started to see the money that the government was making off of the Black and brown children. And
it's 8 o'clock.
The recidivism rate was so high. Either these kids were getting life sentences or we were releasing them back into the community without any type of programs to help them. And so it inspired me to go back to school and get some more education. And what I chose to focus on is program development, nonprofit management and administration, and grant writing, so that I could learn how to effectively write programs, help people out in the community. And that's what I did after I graduated in Los Angeles County. I helped a lot of people start their own nonprofit organizations, help them get funding, and just really help them to understand the process, because they don't always teach you that process. Even when we go to school, they don't necessarily teach you the ins and outs of how money works, what you need to know to become an entrepreneur or successful business owner. These are things that we often have to learn our own, or by trial and error. And so from there, I migrated up here to Northern California, started working for the county, Sac County, and I interfaced with the Child Protective Services, child welfare. And my population that I was working with were victims of sex trafficking, commercial sexual exploitation. And let me tell you, for those of you who already don't know, Los Angeles is a hub, but the Bay Area, San Diego, and Sacramento is also a hub. They don't necessarily like to talk about it a lot, but our children, our Black and brown children especially, our Black children in the Sacramento area, we make up more than 60% of the children that are being sex trafficked. And so it really bothered me to see how these kids, even the ones that weren't being sex trafficked, were removed from the home. So the kids that should have remained home, they removed those kids, and the kids that should stay home, they don't. It was really, really crazy. And so from there, I started working at the state to write programs and policies and procedures for the entire state of California on commercial sexual exploitation. And I'm still doing that. I'm still at the state level, but in my spare time, and even though I do a lot of different things, there's a lot of people that know me because of the grant writing and because of the nonprofit expertise. And for those of you who are interested in that, I do have a podcast. I have a podcast that's called The Secrets of Grant Writing, Funding, Business Plans, and More. And I give out a lot of information to the community on how to start a nonprofit, how to get access to funding. And I also talk about socioeconomic problems, challenges, and how to resolve those challenges and problems. I give out a lot of information, as well as the website that I have, The Secrets of Grant Writing. There's blogs on there. There's a lot of different things or formats that I use to be able to give information out to the community as to how to start a nonprofit and how to get access to funding. And for those that wanted to take a step further, I do have a grant writing and nonprofit VIP class that I'm starting up. It's every second Monday of every month at 6:30 p.m. for those of you who are interested in that. But what's really near and dear to my heart on a personal level is my nonprofit organization called Blessed Without Limits. Blessed Without Limits has a program affiliate that I call the Esther Project Services. And what we really focus on in that program is providing access to tools and resources and training for single mothers with children, women of color that are striving to become entrepreneurs, and also young people. Ages 18 to 26 is my focal point, but specifically those children that have interfaced with the child welfare system, that have aged out, those that have been victims of sex trafficking and or have been at one point or another involved in the juvenile justice system. So for the state of California, it doesn't matter if you're in the Bay Area or if you're in SoCal. if you are a youth that falls into that category, I would love to help you start your own business, help you give the tools, to get access to the tools and the resources that you need to become an entrepreneur, because I truly believe in that. I believe in education, but I also believe that we should have some type of vocational trade up underneath our belt. We should not necessarily depend up on education, because that's twofold. We still need to have some type of trade or vocational skill up under our belt. And I totally believe in entrepreneurship. Or if you are a single mother between the ages of 18 to 30, and you are striving to become an entrepreneur, I will help you. And that's no cost to you. The way that I fund that program is the administration side of Blessed Without Limits. I offer services for business filings and incorporations, whether you're wanting to incorporate as a nonprofit or get your 501c3 or an LLC, or if you're wanting to know whether or not you can even actually qualify for a grant. I do what's called a grant readiness assessment. And when you make the donations to Blessed Without Limits, those proceeds actually go to the program side, which is the Esther Project Services. So that's near and dear to my heart. I do notary services. There's a lot of things that I do, but again, what's near and dear to my heart is Blessed Without Limits.
Wow, phenomenal step. Now y'all see why I was hyping the queen up. You see this? These are the resources that our community needs. And this is why both sides of the conversation is so powerful, right? And you coming here tonight was a blessing, because I'm going to connect you with the network of Black-led organizations. The biggest problem in this nonprofit industry is finding grant writers. Okay, getting this information to the community. So we're going to connect you. We're going to connect with you, and there's a lot of things. We're going to connect you with a bunch of people and get you into the network. There's a big need here for grant writers to help our Black-led organizations. This type of information is what we need. I would love to have you come on and do an educational presentation for some of the things that you have. If you have a couple of PowerPoints, we have to start getting this information to our community. We got to start helping our community. Too many times we get the knowledge, we go to college, we clam the educational letter, and we don't reach back to help those in need. Just phenomenal stuff. And I got a number of things that I want to talk to you about, but we'll try to get through as many of them and bring everybody up for tonight's question as it's getting late. But one of the things that you touched on that is very, very powerful, and I want to connect you with Vanessa Russell. We've had a couple of conversations about human trafficking. This is a very, very serious topic that is impacting our community every day. And Vanessa, she runs an organization called Love Never Fails Us. And I want to connect you. She's in Alameda, phenomenal sister. She also teaches IT. And teaches us in the community how to do these different tech jobs to uplift our community. She's been on a couple. I'll share that information with you, but I want you to connect with her as well as my brother Majig and some of the other people from SF Block and Mega Black. We are in the need of grant writers and people who could teach these type of classes. And, there's funding and things that people can have. I got to connect you with my brother Derek Tollifer, as they have the Leadership Academy. They are always trying to find these different consultants and people to come in to help educate our community on this type of stuff. So I'll get you connected with the network. But the human traffic thing is very, very big. And I'm glad you brought it up. Here in the Bay Area, we are dealing with it. It is something that is not going away, especially in San Francisco and Oakland. It is a huge, huge market. And we've had these conversations. I definitely want to keep you your name and stuff. So as we continue to have those conversations, because it won't stop, we want to make sure that we invite you back, because this is the different perspectives that we need to hear, and also having a solution of how we help these people. And that's one of Vanessa's things that she talked about, is empowering people through entrepreneurship, tech, and things of that nature, and finding out ways, how do we impact our young people? This is the challenge when we talk about violence and anything that's taking place in our community, is how do we impact the young people? And I think you hit on something that really touched me when we're talking about vocational schools and other opportunities. Too many times in our community, we focus on college, and I think college is great. We need to push our young people there, but we also have to be realistic that there's a lot of young people in the community that's not going to go to college. And how do we still utilize vocational skills and different things of that nature to help them still be productive in our community, make a livable wage, and use their talents to impact our community. A lot of times we don't talk about it, but I think that's something that we have to come strategically together to figure out, because we have a generation of young people that are just out there. And we have to connect them as our baby boomers are retiring. People are burnt out, quitting, different things. How do we start impacting them through vocation and other types of training to help impact them in the community? So very, very powerful stuff. But what do you think about that? Because I think, am I hitting the mark when you talk about the education vocational piece? Or you think I'm off? Or
we could have a whole segment on that because I'm a living witness. Two prestigious institutions that I attended. And I'm grateful for the opportunity, but there's a lot that was not known to me going into it. Because what happens is, now, if you're going for STEM, the sciences, technology, engineering, or mathematics, okay. If you can get the education for free, okay. But when it comes to a point to where they're encouraging you to get these loans and things like that, that's where the game comes in at, because the schools make money and the banks make money, but the student, the kids, the young people that are constantly told, it's embedded in them, and it's a form of conditioning. Oh, just stay out of trouble and just go to college and everything will be okay. But what they don't tell you is about the debt that you incur. So when it's time for you to make a purchase for a home, when it's time for you to do something, because that's really where the wealth is at, is in land and property. And these are some of the things that I want to educate our young people on, then you're blocked, because the amount of debt that you've accumulated, and somebody like me being in the field of social services that's committed to the work, I mean, man, okay, I might be able to hit the mark at 6 figures, but the loans, the education itself, we talking about $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 just for those 2 degrees. So it's not equivalent. I used to they used to teach us about W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, and as an undergraduate, I was like, oh man, Booker T. was tripping. But now, as a more mature young woman, I'm saying, no, he wasn't off the mark. There's a hidden gem in what he was saying. And so this is what we need to teach our young people. And I want to commission, since you have access to all these organizations, and I'm really, really hard on churches, okay? I want to commission any organization or any church, because my heart is truly, I'm for all people, but I'm really with the young people. When I was in Los Angeles, I was doing workshops and conferences. I would love to partner with someone, whether it's the Bay Area or wherever. I would love to partner with an organization to put on another youth conference, because we need that. We need to get back to the basics of training and educating our youth, telling them what they're not telling them in school. It's our responsibility. Stop depending on the schools and the system to take care of our communities.
Now, you barking up a tree that I'm about to start my fireworks here, because yes, I have a big issue. And I know I'm going to get in trouble. My PR team already told me to be cool. But I'm very passionate about one thing, and they know I love our youth. And a lot of people in the community, they get frustrated with me because they borderline think I'm disrespectful to the elders in our community. And I'm going to tell everybody again, I have nothing but respect for our elders in our community. The biggest issues that I have with our elders in the community is, one, they hold on to the power too long. They're not willing to pass the torch to our young people, and they're not willing to step down and pass it to the young people to move us forward. Okay, so that's one of the biggest things. So yesterday, this is what we're going to talk about at the end, but I'm very disappointed, okay, in our leadership. And I'm going to talk about all leadership, but especially when we're talking about the religious leaders and some of the community organization leaders in our community, I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with the work they're doing. They're very divisive, and they are definitely spreading our communities apart. And I am at a point right now where I've been quiet long enough. And I'm going to say this on the airwave because I got a few phone calls today. I don't like when people patronize me, okay? I am not upset or angry because my mom passed on Sunday. And I know whenever I speak up and I get passionate about people, you know, people want to say, oh, it's John's mom. Don't worry. This is because his mom passed away. I am very passionate about my community and my people. And I don't like when people play with my people. And I think there's a part of leadership that we are lacking in our community from all of our community leaders, elected officials, our church heads, community heads. We are enabling bad behavior in our community. Okay. I don't want scared people afraid to step up and talk to people and shut them down when they are leading our community. They are being divisive in our community. We have to remove these people from our community. This is why our community is being impacted. So when it comes to this, I get very passionate about, and I know, you know, my PR team is going to be on me, but I don't care about those phone calls. And I'm going to tell people again, don't play with me about my mom passing away, and I'm coming for people. I will always come for people who play with my young people and play with the people in my community. We have a duty as leaders to step up, especially the men of our community. There's too many of our men in our community that aren't saying nothing, okay? And it is time for us to lead. We have to lead by example, and we got to stop enabling and letting this crap go on in our community. And I don't care about people power, people position, people titles. I don't care if you're a preacher, if you're a leader. If you are in our community and you're saying that you're a community servant and you're a leader of our community, you have to lead. And when they are failing us, I expect every community leader and organization to open their mouth and say something and not sit there and let people in our community further break our community apart.
Come on.
So I'm very passionate about that, and I'm very upset. And for the people that think I was disrespectful, I'll take it. And I told my family and I told my friends, I don't care about followers. I don't care about people who watch us. This show is not for everybody. Both sides of the conversation ain't for everybody, and I understand that. But when it comes to the people in my community, when it comes to my young people, when it comes to the elders of my community, as a leader, I have to stand up. I've been quiet and I've been patient. I've been assessing what is going on in our community, and it's not right, and I got to say something. Yeah. So a lot of people ain't going to like me. A lot of people ain't going to want to talk to me, and that's fine. But it's my job as a leader to say something, and I'm tired of leaders, and that's all leaders in our community, who are standing by enabling this bad behavior that are further dividing our community. We are dealing with enough as it is with this pandemic, with homelessness, with jobs. Yes. We are struggling. Our people is hurting out here. And for these people, these gatekeepers in our community who are oppressing us, enough's enough. And they're going to hear from me, and we're going to continue to move forward with this mission of holding people accountable and calling them out. Enough's enough. Our people are hurting right now. Yes. We don't have time as community organizations to hold funding for a rainy day. I'm tired of hearing about this money. We got to hold on to it because we don't know what's coming. Today is the rainy day. Our people in the community are being affected, and they need support, and they need resources. Yes. And we got to stop playing this game. And as community leaders, we got to step up. Now's the time. It's not about who likes me. It's not the good old boys club. It's not who's cool. And I don't want to offend nobody. I don't care about offending people. We got to step up, and we got to call people out, and we got to shut these people down, especially in San Francisco. We only have 5% of Black people in San Francisco, and when we got so-called leaders in our community dividing us by districts, by areas, and we're not supporting each other, and we're not working together as Black San Francisco, it is a disappointment to our people. I don't care about the politics. I don't care about your issues with our mayor. I don't care what your issues is with our board president. We have Black leadership in San Francisco. And people got to get their stuff together and get out their personal feelings and come together and help our people that's struggling out here. And I had to say that tonight. I'm tired of going on these meetings listening to this crap. It's just crap.
I'm proud of you, man. That's well
I'm just
said.
saying, man. And this ain't got nothing to do with my mom. This is about realness.
No,
We are
that's from the heart.
leaders. We are in San Francisco. We lead the way. We change the world. People follow us. When we make change, the rest of the world change. And this crap that's going on, and we streaming this stuff live, people all across the country is watching this, and people sitting there allowing this divisiveness in our community. This got to stop.
Yes.
It got to stop. And I'm going to be the first one to speak up on it. And I'm not playing with these people. I'm calling them out. These property pimps in our community, using our community, holding on to the funds. We got to stop this. And I don't care about the churches, and I don't care about the people that's getting their feelings hurt. I don't care no more. If you are a leader and you are dividing our community, we got to stand up and push them out. This is what we got to do. I can't take it no more. I've been quiet. I've been patient. And I've been trying to work and deal with these people in our community, and I can't do it no more. We got to come together, Black San Francisco. We got to come together, Black Bay Area. We got to come together, Black folks across this country.
Yeah.
We are doing a disservice to ourselves and our people. We got to stop competing, and we got to work together. We have to break this trauma bonding. We have to break this comfortness. We have to break these things that are holding our people down. We got to uplift the people. We got to be open to change, open to opportunities. We can't just keep leaning on our elected officials to do everything. No. As community, we got to step up, especially in San Francisco. We got Black leadership. We got to get out of these personal issues, and we got to uplift each other. We got to support our mayor. We got to support our board president. We got to support our director, Cheryl Davis. We got to support these community organizations that's trying to work together. We already deal with enough. We got to step up, man. These commissions, these people that are supposed to be advocating for our people, we got to do a better job. We can't just be showing up, trying to be a part of commissions, trying to be a part of committees just to have our name out there, to build up our resume. Like, man, we got to do the work. We got to stop playing, people. Like, this is real. Our people is dying out here. And these models that's going on right now is not working. We got brothers like Nate that's out here grinding. We got this sister on here, these brothers. We got to start supporting each other. We got to stop competing. And I am pissed off and I am frustrated. And again, has nothing to do with the loss of my mother. It has everything to do to see the enabling behavior that is happening with our community leaders and our organizations who are standing there allowing this nonsense to continue to happen while the world is watching. We have to do better. We have to lead by example, especially here in San Francisco. As everyone knows, if we do it right, we might change this whole United States of America. And what's going on right now has to change. We got to change. This model is not working, and we got to get these resources to our community. So I apologize. It might sound like a rant, but I am not happy what I'm seeing what's going on with some of these folks in our community sitting here enabling this behavior that is divisive and tearing our communities further apart. We are one Black San Francisco. We are one Black Bay Area. We are one Black United States of America. We will continue to uplift, support, respect the Black men and Black women in our community. And it starts with accountability. And we're going to keep pushing this issue with our community leaders. They got to do right and they got to do better. And that's really all I want to say about that. But that's just something that triggered me. And I've been trying to get this off, and I tried to do it the best way. But I had enough of what's going on in our community. We got to support each other. We got to stop this crab in the barrel mentality, and we got to get these resources to our community. But with that being said, Ms. Bell, I had to get that off my chest. You are phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal queen. I am looking forward to collaborating with you and working with you, because that is what we do here at both sides of the conversation. We are about our people. We're about uplifting our people. We're about making sure that our community get the information and the resources that sometimes they don't get. And you have a wealth of information and gems for our community. And I want to collaborate with you. And I'm going to connect you with some of the leaders and some of the community organizations that can utilize your consulting services to come bless our people. Our people is in need of the skills that God have given you to help our community out. So I want to invite you, and I will connect you. We will continue to push your information out. There are a lot of nonprofits and small businesses As you all know, here in San Francisco and across this Bay Area and across the United States, during COVID, Black and brown businesses have increased entrepreneurship in our community. And we have to start supporting these small grassroots organizations like both sides of the conversation. We are small, but we are mighty. And we connected with the heavy hitters in the city. And we connected with brothers like Nate. And we connected with other powerful brothers like Maurice and different people in this community that want to see our community better and want to see our community leaders do major things to change this paradigm and this narrative shift in our community. We can do it, but it takes us all to get out of our feelings and our personal issues. Work together. Work together. Let's stop silencing our voices and open up our voices and stand up for these leaders and these community people that are dividing our community. We are at a crisis in this country with mental health, gun violence, unemployment, equity. We got to come together. I am tired of these gatekeepers who are keeping the gates closed. We are kicking the gates down. We ain't going to let you keep the lock on no more. We got to do this work. And if I got to get Nate in the front, Nate, we'll get the battle of the time. We'll go grab it. We'll knock the gate down together, Nate.
You need you some water, man. Go get you some Gatorade.
But with that being said, sister, if there's anything else you want to say, or Nate, you want to jump in there, you know I get passionate about this, Nate. You know when it comes to my young people, I don't play. And this sister talked about this work as we got to tackle. I know you have this social worker background. I think you brought up a great point of some of the things that's happening with
heavy is
the child system and how they removing our kids from the families. It's a nightmare, but we got to talk about that as well. But Nate, you want to say anything, Nate?
No, man, you said it all, John. You said it all. I'm sitting here smiling but you ain't said nothing but real talk, man. And I'm just proud of you that you had the courage to say it, because now you got all the naysayers texting people and you know how they do. Oh, what's up with John? This and that, man. But man, it's real talk. It's overdue. It's needed. And the time is now. So thank you.
And I'd just like to say I support you. And yes, I would love to continue the conversation, especially relative to the churches and their role in all of this. There's a lot that I could say, and I'll hold it for next time. But I would also like to put it out there too, that I am a survivor of domestic violence and sexual assault. So I do believe in women empowerment, and I do have a women's empowerment project that I also lead. It's called God's Leading Ladies in the Marketplace. So if anybody is an aspiring entrepreneur, or you're already an entrepreneur and you want to fellowship and link up with other like-minded, spiritual, not religious, because I don't do religion, but spiritually minded individuals, please hit me up, because we do that too. And we talk about business, and we talk about entrepreneurship and resources and things to help you all too. And just thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
Wow, very powerful stuff. Very powerful testimony. Ms. Bell, I am looking forward to connecting with you. It is a struggle sometimes to have these conversations, and we need people that have the bandwidth, who have the professional background, but also have the real life experience to help facilitate these conversations and educate our community. It's so many, we have so many needs in our community. And, I am just looking forward to connecting with you and helping get your information out to uplift you and support you. But I have to agree with you. A lot of our religious realms have did a disservice to our community, and I'm not for the old games anymore. I've had enough, and too many times, and it's nothing against, because it's not all churches, but it's a large majority who have definitely just did our community in ways that it's just unthinkable, some of the stuff that goes on, and for them to play like they don't know what the issues are and what role they played into breaking up our communities. I can't take it no more. And again, I will say this here live again: any pastor, any church, any religious leader who wants to come on here and have a conversation with me, and we've had pastors come on here in the past. I'm open for the conversation. If you want to debate me, and if you want to think I'm wrong, and if you think I'm crazy, and if you think I'm just whatever you want to think, I'm here. I want to have a conversation. But I'm going to tell you right now, these pastors who believe there's privileges and membership, and they're receiving taxpayers' funds, and they're receiving benefits from taxpayers to bless our community, and they feel that the privilege of their membership should be awarded those services for our community, I will always object, and we can have a conversation about it. For you leaders and church leaders who feel that politically everything needs to be done on your yard and on your side of the turf and in your house, I don't agree with you, and I'm going to continue to push back on that. I believe if we're doing things for our community, it needs to be on neutral ground. I'm tired of having the same old stuff that's been going on in our community. When things happen in our Black community, whether it's from the police violence, community violence, everybody wants to run to the church and say, let's do it in the church. And when the community becomes passionate and the community wants to talk about what's going on, we want to take the mic from people and tell them, be respectful. We in the church. But this is a church business. This is community business. And I'm going to keep pushing that we remove these meetings and these gatherings away from the church and keep it in the community for the community. And it's nothing against our churches. I have no issue with them. But I'm about my people and I'm about the community. And we know in our community, sometimes that church line divides people from coming. And I want to keep these important conversations and these important committees and these important meetings that's going on. I want to keep it in the community, and I will continue to push back. And any community leader, religious leader who have a problem with that, you're welcome to come on both sides of the conversation, and we'll have a conversation where I feel we need to have this in a neutral ground in the community, so that community can be involved with it. Too many times our spiritual leaders are organizing politically, moving our community in ways that are not beneficial to our community. And I want to make sure that our community stays connected, stays a part of it, and we're going to keep doing it. And I think this is why some of our political organizations are falling apart. Organizations like the NAACP, when you start collaborating and pushing community organizations in the church, it just loses steam because there's so many people in our community that have been disappointed, disserved by what's going on in the place that we so-called faith. So I want to make sure that we do our part to stay open, stay neutral, and make sure we respect our community and make sure that we have these important conversations on neutral ground, and both sides of the conversation, we are open to handle it. And for any of you church leaders, no disrespect. If you want to have a conversation, both sides of the conversation is open and we can talk about it. But you're not going to come on here and play no games with the community or the people, and we're going to keep it real. And we're going to call out some of these things that people don't want to necessarily talk about that call themselves leaders in our community. I'm willing to have the conversation. I'm willing to have the conversation. Community, go call your leaders, all the churches in San Francisco, y'all, we can talk about it. Let's do it. We can talk about it, and I can address my issues, and you can address your issues, and we can see if we can come to the middle of this. I'm done with the enabled behavior, and I just can't do it anymore. So with that being said, thank you. If there's anything else you want to say, Lady Bell, I'm going to bring up the other panelists while you say any final words. Thank you. I am looking forward to working with you. We just need some more good people, and we could do a lot with a small, mighty group of people who are passionate about loving on our people. I just believe that the money will come when you do the services for our people. So just want to put that out, but I'll bring up the other guests.
I want to give up a quick update on the governor thing. Dude up 68%, man. He up 68%, 55% votes in.
Are you talking about Governor Newsom?
Yeah, he's up 68%.
Man.
Wow. That's a great update. Thanks, Nate. As y'all know, the polls have closed. They're counting. They'll be counting all the way to midnight tonight, I'm sure. Again, thank you all for being here tonight. And again, I apologize, Demitria and Brother Krim, for holding y'all so long. And to community, I'm very passionate about y'all. I love y'all, and I love all the support y'all have. And I apologize if y'all felt I went on a little rail there, and I might have. Again, it has nothing to do with the loss of my mom. I am passionate about my community, and I don't like people who play with my people in the community. But it is an emotional, intense show for me. There's a number of things that we still have to address, and we will get that off as we continue to mobilize and organize, as the Dreamkeeper Initiative kicks off, as resources come to the community, as the Accountability Commission comes together, as we here at both sides of the conversation continue to hold these organizational leaders and these nonprofits in our community accountable for the work and the resources that they are supposed to provide for our community. We will be here and we will be holding them accountable. We will continue our assessment and we will find the flaws and we'll find things that are destroying what we're trying to do in our community. And we will bring those things forward and make sure that we offset the things that are so bringing our community down. So with that being said, before every show, we always ask questions and we have comments. And, we don't never know what they are. But tonight, it's a couple of things that I really wanted to talk about. And we kind of got into it about leadership. I'm trying to figure out from all you, and I just want to ask this question in the Black community. How do we fix this issue of violence? How do we fix this issue of lack of leadership? How do we fix some of the things in our community that are impacting us day to day? In you all perspective, what is it that we can do? What is the solution? I know there's 1,000 of problems that impact us every day, but what is it that we could do as community from your perspective to help impact our community when we talk about gun violence, violence in our community in general, the leadership, and some of the things that's going on in our community to impact us? And Brother Krim, I want you to also speak about mental health. How do we get our young people involved with mental health? How do we get our community to break the stigma of mental health? And how do we get the leaders of our community to work together and bridge the gap between the elders and our young people? I know that's a lot in one. Y'all can take a shot at it however y'all want to. Anybody can start, and then we'll end tonight's segment. Thank you all so much.
I think that one of the biggest problems in our community right now is unity. We're so busy. If you look at the cultures around the world, if you look at Chicago, if you look at Oakland, if you look at just all the different communities around the world, it's so divided. We don't work together. We'd rather have 63rd Street beefing with 64th Street and they right there together instead of 63rd and 64th building up 65th Street. It's a big impact on the community when you got people of power fighting each other, going against opposite sides. Now, the thing is, most of us small communities, big communities, it don't matter what the community is. Most of the communities are Black, they are run down. And I notice if you go to a Black neighborhood and you go to the corner stores, we've been over here our whole life. We haven't unified enough to understand how can somebody come from Pakistan and be here a month and buy a whole store. We don't understand that, but yet every corner that you go to, there is a Arab store, a Pakistani store. Me and a couple of my partners talked about this at home last week. If we had that unity, 4 or 5 of us can get together and buy the store in our neighborhood. But we don't have that unity. And most of it, as much as I hate to say it, comes from the Black community. The Black community actually reflects ourselves by our actions. When you hear people say, excuse me for saying it, well, I'm gonna say the N word, I ain't gonna say the word. When you hear people say that, some people get offended. I'm from Mississippi where I've seen real racism. And I can explain the difference because in Mississippi, if the other side don't like you, they gonna call you the N word. Straight to your face. Like it's no question about it. What it is what it is. Out here in Georgia, the racism is different. They cut you off from jobs. They cut you off from being able to progress, from the loans, from the grants, the same thing that they give them so easily. So it's different types of racism, and racism comes from us because we don't have that unity to stop it. You have to have that type of unity within yourself and within everybody around you has to be on the same page. You know, and as far as the other matter you asked me to speak on, the biggest problem is with Black men. When we are going through things, they expect us to be so strong that they tell you as a Black man is nobody wants to hear it, or you a man, suck it up. You know how many Black men have committed suicide because no one's there to talk to them? How many Black men have lost their lives, lost their homes, lost because of the problems and the depression that they go through that leads up to suicide? But when it happens, then you got the boo-hooing and the crying and, oh, well, he should have came to us. Oh, well, he would have talked. But when he tried, you shut the man down. You put so much pressure on us as Black men. Pressure bust pipes, let's say that. You put so much pressure on a Black man, you're going to bust his pipe. Regardless. Black women have the pressure of competing with brothers or others at jobs because men don't feel that they are capable of doing the same thing that we can do. In my eyes, I've seen my mother go through it. I'm talking about through it, and she's done came through it, and she's still going. She just retired. Like my father, I'm not gonna say his age, but he's mid-70s. In his business, 52 years, first Black-owned business in our small city in Mississippi. Over the years, I don't say much, but I paid attention to people try to shut him down. And, you know, and this is not Black. Try to shut him down. But as a community, the loyalty of him for 50 years has kept that community, you know, on his side. Like 75, 76 years old, he still slings a sledgehammer like it's nothing. He goes to work every single day, Monday through Saturday, and he goes to that shop faithfully. That's the man that raised me. That's the man I learned a lot from him. Unity. That's my biggest thing in the community. Unity. We don't have any. It has to be a unified Black community that starts somewhere that can spread through this thing we call the United States. Because, excuse me, and you gave your opinion, and I'm gonna say my opinion. Congratulations, Kamala Harris. I'm glad you were the first Black, vice president. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it should have been Michelle. They took Kamala Harris. Everybody looks at that as that's the Black woman. But who's behind Kamala? Who's pushing Kamala? You have a full-blooded white husband. We can't get that. We can't get that in our communities. Mayor Keisha Bottom, if y'all look her up in Atlanta, she's made big moves, major moves, and they're trying to get her out of there because she's done so much for the Black community. Mississippi, that governor is racist as a barrel cracker biscuit. So it's at a point, if we don't have that unity, we are going to fall apart. And it has to come from within our own communities. The lady that's the social worker, I applaud you. It takes strength to go through what you've been through, from the sexual assault, from everything you've been through in life, to go and deal with everyone else's problems, knowing that these situations could hit home. You have to hold yourself tough and stand still. That's the heart of a Black woman. That's the heart of a Black queen. The lady that's doing the homeless bags and making sure that everything is up. I gotta applaud you, because the situations are dangerous. Due to COVID and everything else right now, the situations are very dangerous for you to go out there and still interact with those people. For you to go out and put your life on the line every day to make sure that they have the basic essentials, the basic needs, all that. That's very brave. Because in Atlanta, it don't matter what corner you go to. You got a Black person on that corner, at the corner store. Hey, brother, can I get 50 cents? Can you borrow a dime? Can I spare a dime? Some of them walking with perfectly good health, 20, 25, 24 years old, don't have nothing, been put out on the street, and they begging. So I just want to say that unity, and don't put the pressure on the Black man, on the brothers. Ladies are suicidal too. But if you look up the suicidal rates between the Black population, it's mostly men. And it's sad.
Phenomenal. There y'all go. That's both sides of the conversation. You can't get no realer than that. Y'all can't hear it. Sister Demitria, you want to jump in there?
Yes, I don't mind, just to backdoor off of what Krim was saying. I mean, I'm young. All you guys are much older than me, but I've
Hold it. I ain't that much
through a
older.
lot. But what I have is, like, in the Black community, I'm 32. Look like it, but I'm 32. But it really gets me off from the Black community. Looking is like, why come we cannot help each other? Like, you see the Mexicans, right? They gonna get their money. They'll be up at 6 in the morning cutting your yard, make sure it's all trench. They don't mind. They coming 40 miles away, 10 miles away. They come. Black people, they're gonna have. They're not gonna even do it all the way. They expect you to, like, okay, for instance, they come cut your yard. They expect you to pay $70, $80, but Mexicans, they just want to get for and be on their way. They're happy, they're satisfied. But the Black community, we don't want to help each other. We want to see each other like fail. And like, I see that with like some of my friends now, because of what I'm doing now. They look at me like, oh, Demetria's doing that, but she won't come back and do for us. But y'all not even doing anything down there for me to even help y'all. You gotta help yourself before I can help you. But I don't understand. I just really don't understand the Black community. So hard. It shouldn't even be that hard of a task. Like, if we would come together and be as one man, we can. Just looking at us now, like, what are we doing? We're just as strong. We had slaves. They was chained. They had to even be out in the sun. Some of us don't even want to be out in the sun. We don't want to go do some simple. He'll get out and mow the yard. He do not mind because he want money for a fortnight or something. But he don't understand why the Black community can't just come together like it's unity. And it starts there. It starts unity if we just come together. That's all we got to do instead of trying to shoot each other. You want to go rob somebody with groceries? You know what I'm saying? You want to they putting their groceries in the car. Black people. And it doesn't make any sense where you feel like, oh, you got to put a gun in your face. And younger kids, they really feel like, oh, the gun violence, that's the only way right now. You got a gun or you big man on campus. But what they fail to realize, they're not. They act like they're God and they're not. There's only one. There's only one. And that's just what I say. I get so upset about it when I think about it. And it's just like it was a perfect opportunity for me to voice that out there to the world. It's just like, why? You know, we want to kick each other when we're down instead of uplifting. If the next person is doing better than you, you know, some of the Black community, they wave you off. They hate on you. Like, why hate? You know, we should all be able to relate to each other. We all struggle. We all got a story. And the best thing that we can do for each other is listen to each other's stories. But nobody want to listen. They want to think that you just talking, you bragging about this, but it ain't even that. I could go on, but I just understand this nowadays it's just not right. It don't sit right with me. And I hate it so much. When I come off that podcast, I will definitely be speaking more on that. Most definitely. We just got to come together. We do.
All right. I'm looking forward to that podcast. It sounds like it's going to be some fire conversations. And here at both sides of the conversation, we're going to keep fire conversations as well. Sister Bell, you want to jump in there? You got to unmute yourself. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was struggling to do. But yes, Cram, thank you so much, King, for that acknowledgement. I sincerely appreciate that. And there was a lot that he said that resonated with me. I mean, I think he kind of summed it up, but I really think that we suffer from a mental conditioning. And we've heard this. We've heard this about the Willie Lynch mentality. They just did a phenomenal job with the mental conditioning because this is about self-hatred. We can't come together because we don't love ourselves. Now, some people may get angry with me for what I'm about to say, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, but
go ahead and say it. There's both sides of the conversation. Go ahead and say it.
You know, I had an issue with Black Lives Matter. And the issue that I really had was we don't talk enough about Black on Black crime. So I'm not saying that what the police officers and what, you know, Caucasian people do is wrong. And I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is that we don't seem to get mad or angry when we killing each other. Like we don't think, just like earlier we were talking about, you know, the churches. I have, and I come from a spiritual background, but the discussions that I've had with spiritual leaders, and could be too because I'm a woman and I'm addressing this to other men, it's like, wait a minute, hold up. We're supposed to be protectors of our community. Why aren't we angry about our Black babies, our Black children dying out there in the street? So how do you expect another race, another culture of people to respect us and to acknowledge us when we don't respect, acknowledge, and love ourselves? That's a misnomer. It makes absolutely no sense. And when we talk about exploitation, well, come on, let's talk about it. We exploit our own people. We do it through social media, through entertainment, through our music because of the dollar. So, you know, you can't tell me that this thing can't change when it is stated that we spend over $1 trillion. We are the biggest consumers that there are in this nation, and that money is going into other communities. So when people started talking about this with George Floyd and the equity, because a lot of equity conversations came up and they were saying, well, how do we make it stop? Okay, well, money talks. You really want them to hear us? Close up your pocketbooks. Like Krim said, there is a store that's on every corner in every Black community that's owned by Arabs, and don't get me on the Asians that come into our communities that have the beauty industry sold up. We love to wear our wealth instead of investing in property and land. This is how they get us, because we wear our wealth. You got people like Michael Jordan who talk about he didn't create Jordans to be worn or to be purchased by African Americans, but yet there are a lot of people that go and spend their hard-earned money every month to go and purchase a pair of Jordans. But when you have conversations with them about owning property or land or starting a business, they say that they don't have the means to do so. I'm still talking about mental conditioning and self-hatred. And I think that that's where a lot of it lies. I think that when we start talking about solutions, what you all are doing is necessary. And so when Kanisha found me, thank you, sister, for finding me. There needs to be more conversation. This is how it starts, but not only the conversation, but the education. I also think that we in the Black community wait and rely on one individual to be the voice of us all. And we can't afford to do that. There are a lot of individuals that are strong, powerful, and influential in their own right. But I do think that it takes a collective effort. We cannot wait on one Black person to lead an entire nation of people. I think we all have to do our part. And again, what you're doing, this platform is very necessary. It needs to continue. It needs to spread. Like you said, it's not just about the Bay Area or just about California, but what you're trying to reach beyond those borders to spread the word. You're reaching out to other people. And this is where it starts. And there's many of us that have our own, like Krim, like what Demitria is doing, Nate, that have their own businesses. It needs to get out there and we need to support each other. But again, I really think it has a lot to do with a poor self-image and a mental conditioning. And that's where we really, really need to start. Because we don't love each other. We don't like ourselves. So how can we really expect for anybody else to love, acknowledge, and respect us?
Man, powerful stuff. I see Nate stepped away, but I think this is very powerful. This is why we do this. We are very intentional here at both sides of the conversation, and that's why we have these 3 live shows, because we've heard so much from our community about the lack of support, the lack of recognition, and this platform was created during a time of need in a pandemic. The work that we've been doing has been going on for many, many years. 24 years I've been doing reentry work in San Francisco Juvenile Hall and the county jail, working with our young people, but so graciously, one of the things that came out of this pandemic was both sides of the conversation. And as we started to connect with community and find out what the needs was of our community, it was just so heartening to know the lack of information, the lack of resources, the lack of collaboration was impacting our community. And that's why we created this. So many people were burnt out. So many people didn't feel like they were being recognized. And that's why these segments were created. Our Hidden Gem segment was to highlight our Black and brown businesses, to uplift them and support them, not only during this pandemic, but to let people know that there are Black and brown businesses out there. They need their support. And as community, we need to go out and patronize those businesses and help uplift them. And then to our phenomenal community leaders who have been putting in the work, boots on the ground, we want to make sure that we give them their flowers and their roses for the work that they do in our community, because we know so many times in this work that we do, when we talk about community and uniting, a lot of times we don't get the recognition. And we wanted to make sure that we give our community their flowers. We don't need CNN. We don't need Fox News. We don't need the large media outlets to acknowledge our people for the great work and the perseverance and the determination that they have and the resilience to not give them their acknowledgments. Too many times in our community, we go to these funerals after people have done 30 years of service. Nobody knew about them. Nobody knew about the work. We are tired of going to funerals to hear about the great things that community leaders and organizations are doing. We want to give them their flowers while they're here and let them know we appreciate you, we love you, and we support you. And that's what Hidden Gem segment is all about. And with our educational Thursday is bringing that information that you're talking about in a digital format to educate our community on financial literacy, mental health, anything that we could give to our community, resume building, whatever it is. We want to continue to utilize this platform to educate our community and uplift our community. And every Sunday, we will continue to have these difficult conversations that we are all talking about now, the taboo conversations, the stigma conversations that sometimes in our community we don't like to have at the dinner table, we don't like to have in the community. We will break that chain and we will start those conversations, because here at both sides of the conversation, we believe the healing process begins when we open up in communication and dialogue, and we are making our mark, and our community is loving the conversations. They are loving the work that we're doing. We are going to continue to do this work, and we're going to continue to do our part to make sure that these resources and this work that's supposed to be done in our community is happening through accountability, assessment, and utilizing our media privileges to get behind and figure out what's going on to make sure that these organizations and these leaders are doing what they're supposed to do. The poverty pimps are running to the mountaintops. As community are coming together, we don't have to wait for elected officials as community to come through, stand together, and make change. Tonight, you have all heard, unite in our community. It starts with being the change. Each individual out there tonight under my voice on this segment tonight, we have to be the change. We have to lead by example. We have to lead with integrity. We have to lead with character. Black men in the community, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be open. You must speak up, as you heard so eloquently tonight from the brother. It is okay. You could get through it, but you have to be willing to speak up and ask for help. Mental health is our number one priority. Here at both sides of the conversation, we will continue to advocate for mental health awareness, and making sure that these mental health services and service providers get to our community and bring those resources so that we can deal with the trauma, the pain, the anger, the frustration, and sometimes the trauma that we have held on for too long. We can remove it from our presence. Tonight has been a powerful Hidden Gem segment. It has been a very, very loving, passionate show tonight. Thank you again, community, for all the love and support, as I will continue to stay motivated and stay uplifted from all you all prayers and phone calls and texts, as this has been a difficult time for me and my family, losing my mom. I appreciate you all for all the things that you have been doing for me and my family and uplifting our spirits. This is going to be a tough road, but with resilience and us uniting as community, uplifting each other. As I heard somebody say, when you're down, don't kick them down, lift them up. And as so many leaders of our community has continued to lift me up. Thank you, Brother Nate, for the love, the phone calls, community. Thank you, Brother Charles. I see you. I love you all. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for the work that you all do in the community. We need to get behind our Black and brown leaders of the community, our elected officials, and make sure that they have the support. They can't do the work if we don't do the work. Let's support each other. Let's uplift our community. Let's be the change and be the impactful change that we need for our community. As we all know, this crisis in our community with violence, some of the equity issue, this Delta variant is impacting our people. Please, if you are that gatekeeper, if you are that community leader that have access to those resources, access to those information, please get it to our community. We would love to get you on to make sure that you uplift and get this information out to our community so that we can help our brothers and sisters who are in need. We are in a crisis, and we need all organizational leaders, all leaders of the community to take a stand. This is a real call to action. Let's take a stand. Let's work together, and let's bless our people. With that being said, thank you, Brother Krim. Thank you, Demitria, for hanging on. They way out there in Atlanta, way out in Texas. Be safe, Queen, as the Hurricane Richardson has touched the land. Be safe. Brother Krim, we will be reaching out to you to support your organization. Sister Demitria, we will be reaching out to support you. Ms. Bell, you are now part of the both sides of the conversation. We will be connecting with you. We will be connecting you with our community organization that is so needed for grant writing and some of the services that you're going to help us provide in your network. We want to connect them so that we can uplift our communities and impact our communities. We're going to continue to do that. Community, this Thursday, we're going to have another Educational Thursday segment. It is going to be a powerful segment. We are going to have some of our important workers at the City and County of San Francisco coming on to educate the community about some of the policy change, some of the things that's been impacting our Black and brown workers here in San Francisco. We know this issue that's happening in San Francisco is not just happening. I am getting feedback and emails from a lot of our people in the community that are being impacted by these employers and HR who are discriminating and doing a number of things that impact our workers. And we're going to have some conversations about that so that we can uplift those people and get them the support and resources that they need. And this Sunday, a very, very important conversation, community. We're going to have the Human Rights Commission Director Cheryl Davis and some of the phenomenal people that's trying to do some work to impact our community with gun violence come on and talk about this community violence, some of the resources and some of the programs that are being put into place to curb this gun violence in our community as we have been impacted. It is so hurtful to hear community reach out to me. The continued shootings that's happening on our hill and our leaders of the community with our young people afraid to come out, and the elders of our community are afraid to go to the corner stores and shop. Young people of the community, we're going to be reaching out to you. We have to come up with a solution to end this gang violence and this gun violence in our community that is impacting us. And hopefully with our Dreamkeeper initiative coming down, some of those grantees who are doing the work on violence prevention, we're going to ask them to come onto this platform, talk to community, and work with them to come up with solutions to curb this violence in our community. We cannot have the elders of our communities afraid to go to the store and worried about being shot or robbed. We have to do better, community. It starts with us. Let's do this. We can do it. Just a little bit of work, a little bit of commitment. Thank you all for joining tonight. God bless you. Thank you for the prayers. I will get through this. I will not quit. I will stay consistent. I am not, and I hope all of my leaders in the community that felt my passionate talk about what we want to do as community, stand with me. This is not about tearing down. We're going to break down this barrier of enabling the bad behavior and the divisiveness in our community. And we're going to work together, like these people said tonight, to unify our communities. One person, one organization, one community at a time. We will do it united, because if we're not united, divided we fall. You know the message. We love y'all. See y'all all this Thursday for our next live conversation. See you all. Thank y'all for hanging in there. We love y'all. Be peaceful.
Thank you.